everybody. Welcome again back to another online panel thing. So today we have a really special guest today with us. Her name is Yuriko Oto, and she is a visual development artist currently working at Dreamworks TV. And I know a lot of people have been asking about like how to improve their portfolios or also what it's like working there. So I think today we would really love to introduce her here. So first of all, let me bring Yuriko onto the screen. So hi, Yuriko.
Hi, Ginger.
Yes. So how are you doing today?
I'm good. Work from home today. I've got to stay safe.
Definitely. Yeah. I think it's that situation that everybody's been talking about as well too. Going on. So how's the situation so far with you?
I think here pretty much all the animation studios are going to be closed for the next 2 weeks. Everyone that can work from home is going to be working from home, but it seems like everyone's kind of just like laying low and trying not to go outside.
Oh, definitely. So I think first of all, Yuriko, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, why did you want to become a previous artist? What got you into animation, and also just like how you got started?
So I grew up in California, in Northern California, in Davis, where it was pretty like academic based because we have a big university in our town, like UC Davis. It's one of the UCs in like the California public school system. So no one was really into being an artist, but I've always liked animation. I was really inspired by like Hayao Miyazaki, and being from Japan, I also just grew up watching a lot of like anime and like animation stuff. So I didn't realize that could become a career until Dice Tatsumi made Space Travel.
Oh.
And I saw that there was a Japanese artist working at Pixar. So I was like, oh, like I didn't know you could, like I didn't even though like I knew about animation and animation art, like I didn't realize that was a possibility for me. But at the time when I realized that I wanted to become a professional like artist in animation, and I only found out about like Cal Arts and Art Center and like those schools too late. So I didn't have time to build a portfolio or anything. So I was researching like public schools that I could go to, and then I came across San Jose State, and they have a really good animation program. Like a lot of our alums, like some of them like is even on my team at Dreamworks. And we have a bunch of people who are working in TV and on feature. And I think in the end, it was a really good decision for me because I got the same kind of education in a fraction of the price of a private school. But yeah, so I went to San Jose State. It was like a 5-year program. Did an internship in Thailand, graduated. Yeah. And then I took about like 7 months off to go back to Japan and like spend time with family, but also to work on my portfolio. And then after I came back to the US, I first got the freelance gig with Rooster Teeth. And then after that, I got the job at Dreamworks where I am now.
That's awesome. Like, so like before you even got into school, did you like already like to draw on a regular basis?
Yeah, I've always liked to draw, like ever since I was in elementary school. Like one time in first grade, I remember this, like the teacher, so it was like a self-portrait assignment in first grade, and everyone was drawing like big anime eyes and like happy faces, but I was like really looking into the mirror and trying to, like in my first grade abilities, like trying to accurately depict my face, and I wasn't smiling in it. Like I wasn't drawing the same like cutesy picture that everyone else was drawing.
So you're trying to be realistic?
Yeah, I was like doing realism to the best of my abilities.
Wow. And
it didn't turn out like anyone else's. And the teacher called my mom in and said like, "Is your child okay?"
Oh my God, that's funny.
It's like I wasn't like drawing the same like cute things as everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've definitely always liked to draw.
Yeah, so you like to draw, but then you just didn't know that there was like a career in the side of like more of the
Yeah.
animation as a development type of thing.
Well, yeah, because like I feel like at least in my community, because I know like I guess in areas where animation is like I feel like a lot of people in LA,
Mm,
especially around the Burbank area, like they grew up knowing that animation can be a job because there's all these studios there. But
definitely.
being a very academia focused like town, college town, like I didn't, all you would hear was like, oh, like starving artists, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah, we get that too.
Yeah. And like all the art teachers were kind of um like the modern art, like express yourself kind of art.
Mm,
And it wasn't really like what I was looking for.
mm.
So yeah, I really didn't know until like the very end of high school that it could be a legit like stable career.
Nice. So I'm going to show some people some of your work first as well too, so that we can kind of see like what your portfolio looked like. Because I think after this, we're actually going to talk about how to be how to make a good portfolio. Tips on what you before you got into the industry and after what you would like were thinking like, oh, I should have put this in my portfolio type of thing as well.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, so let's share the screen. Okay, can you see this, Yuriko?
Yeah.
Yeah, and anybody who wants to have any questions, you can jump in at any time as well too. So here's some of Yuriko's beautiful work. Look at that. That's like little kappa,
Yeah.
Japanese little Japanese monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have this one as well too. So is this like inspired by anywhere in particular in Japan?
I was kind of thinking like the outskirts of Tokyo, and the previous one was like going out from the countryside,
Mm,
like areas of Japan that not everyone kind of like thinks about when they think Japan.
definitely. Because I think the one thing that I have a question about too, like when I look at a lot of pre-viz or viz development work, it seems like there's a lot of research, and I think we've covered this quite a bit too. That usually there's more research involved than a lot of people realize. So
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's why like it was in the time frame of being a student, it was a lot easier for me to draw upon like experiences I already had.
mm,
And I think especially like if you came from another like a different culture or something, like it's easier. I think that's like what sets you apart from other artists is when
mm,
you have a background that not that isn't like the same as everyone else.
mm. So I mean, like some of
Yeah,
these
so
are.
like something that's
Oh, go ahead.
like that's like the view from my grandparents' house.
Good personal view.
Yeah. And I think in the end, because people, it's like a very like people based industry, like you have to work in a team, like work with people,
Mm,
that I feel like that was one of the things that really helped me was like I put a lot of my personal things like into my art.
mm,
And even like going to Japan for like 6 months after graduation,
mhm.
like when I interviewed at Dreamworks, that was like they were like, oh, so what have you been doing since graduation? And that was something that they were really interested in actually.
Oh,
Like, because I think
definitely.
it's yeah, like I think those things during school that like those experiences that I had like probably set me apart from other artists that could have had like similar. Oh, do you want my password?
Oh yes, please.
I think I think you can see it now because it's as long as you don't share the password.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So you want to send it to
Um,
my Facebook?
yeah.
Oh yeah, so some people are like, "Hi, like beautiful word." That's great. So let's see.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, so you're good. Whenever you're ready, just send it over to my Facebook, and I will open
Okay.
this up. And I think this is the other question that some people might have, because when you're working on work that you can't show to other people, or you're working on work that has NDA work, and you want to tell people, "Hey, I've got experience." Do you think a lot of people like do these kind of like password protected things a lot?
Yeah, I think pretty much every like artist working in the industry has a password protected area because I mean like when I'm looking for a new job, I have to show something.
It's like,
Yeah.
trust me, I'm an artist. Just trust me. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like this is my work from 2 years ago. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Stuff in there.
We'll just
And I think you'll
kind of let it. Okay, probably the same password too.
oh, it's the same.
Ah, there. Okay. So do I just click on it here?
I think PC and professional work,
Okay.
it should all load.
So I think someone was asking, oh, how do you set
Like,
up
you
a
can't
password protection? They're using WordPress and they don't know exactly how to do it. I think other than if you don't know how to do a password protected one, sometimes you can actually link it to like something like in your Google Drive or stuff that is also password protected as well. Okay. So this one is Squarespace, right? Yeah. So
yeah.
so
In Squarespace, it's really easy. You just like go to settings. Oh, wait. Oh, there it is.
nice.
I think the color, the paint might be more interesting.
Okay, let's go look at the paint. But when we're talking about design, so sometimes you do the design before you add colors too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, for in TV, a lot of the times it's like it's separated. So one person would do the background design, and one person would do background paint, and another person would do only props, and then another person would do only coloring the props or coloring the characters. But for me, I was lucky enough for my first job to be able to. Sorry, what?
Oh no, I think the internet was lagging just now.
Oh, okay. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So a lot of these paints, I also designed the background for it. Not all of them,
I see this one.
but yeah, the first three I designed.
Okay. And then these are the ones you might not have designed, but you colored them, right?
Yeah. So all of these, yeah, I colored.
Okay. So this is actually
But
really...
I think
Sorry, I think it's just a lag.
I actually designed most of them.
Yeah.
I didn't design the farmers market one with the tables.
This one?
Oh yeah, I didn't design that, but everything else that you see now, I designed.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think somebody was saying like, oh, they never thought about doing with a password protected like Google Drive or things like password protected stuff before, and I think that brought up a really good point.
Yeah, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you did work that, you know, like you have to be able to show it at some point.
Definitely.
Yeah, the reason why I'm sharing it with you now is because since pretty much all of our episodes have been released already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one's
Where's
Waldo?
Yeah, it's Where's Waldo for Dreamworks TV that I've been working on for the past 2 years. We're actually ending soon, but yeah, it's been really fun.
Sounds good.
And I think.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, like I think you'll notice that like the work I'm doing for my show is really different from the personal work I had. And I feel like a thing that people say a lot is like, oh, like if you want to work on a certain show, like, you know, like try to fit that style. But I think that can be limiting sometimes. Which, I mean, sometimes it does work, and you can see how that artist's like personal work reflects in that like TV show. But in my case, you know, like this looks nothing like my personal work, but like the kind of like, because this is a very like shape focused show, like we don't have line, like it's all based on shapes. And even in my more rendered personal work, my art director saw that, you know, I'm good with shapes and like and also just my sense of color, that like even without having work that is directly applicable to the show, like they'll see that you're capable of doing the work, you know, based on your portfolio,
like a translatable skill type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think also that like I think sometimes some people are like, oh, you know, I'm applying to this studio, and I was like, yeah, it's sure, it's great, you know, to have a couple pieces like in that style, but sometimes like it can also somewhat not backfire, but then like, you know, sometimes they're not looking for that particular style. They might actually be working on a different show as well too. Yeah.
So it's good to have, I think, a variety of work. Definitely. And like I actually had like, so I on my free time, like I do gouache painting. And for my portfolio, I have some gouache paintings, and like that was like a big thing that my art director pointed out that he really likes.
Oh, that's fantastic. And these are your practices, right? So someone was asking, what
Yeah.
are some good daily art practices that you do?
This.
So how long do these take? Are these like minis?
I think the ones at the bottom probably took like they take like that took like an hour and a half, maybe. That was digital though. It was on my iPad.
Mm.
That was also on location iPad. So I think observing from life is really important.
Mm.
Like getting the lighting and like learning how to like observe real life.
Hmm. So, like for example, when you're looking at this, right? You're like, because if this wasn't a painting and this was like a photograph of daily thing, you might be like, okay, like it's just a plant. But then when you're observing, what do you see in it? Like, what are you looking for?
Just like how the light hits the surface and how like the color shifts.
Hmm.
Yeah, this was like I was just like tabling at work at Dreamworks,
Hmm.
and I was bored, so I just started doodling. I found this like pot that was in front of me, and I just started doodling it. But yeah, I think it's a really good way to like learn color, because a lot of times like photographs mute the colors a lot.
Hmm.
Like you don't see all the nuances that you see in like real life.
Hmm.
And like also like photographs push contrast a lot. Like the darks get too dark,
Hmm.
the whites get like too washed out.
Hmm.
And when you observe from life, like you see all the values.
Yeah.
I think
So
it's really important.
yeah. And when you're observing from light, do you sometimes like add anything extra to it as well too, or do you just like try to observe as for practice?
For these, I pretty much just do what I see.
Hmm.
But if it helps if it helps the composition, like maybe I'll take out something in the background, or like I'll just pretend like I didn't see something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The little moon ball.
Yeah, the moon boy.
The moon boy. Yeah, this is all really like fantastic notes because I think a lot of times when people are drawing things, sometimes like we don't look at intention as much and just like sketching. But like, do you just like settle your eye on a subject randomly a lot of times?
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, sorry. Repeat that.
Oh yeah, like so when you're like doing daily like spitballs, are you just like this? I feel like this looks like a good subject, and then you just have like whip out something.
Yeah, I just look around, and if something's getting like hit by light and it looks really pretty, like I'll be like, oh, that looks like a fun thing to paint. But also like recently during lunch, me and my friend Angela Sung, who's an art director at DreamWorks TV, and she's now working at DreamWorks Feature. She like paints every single day, so we've been painting together during lunch. And we would set up like a little still life. Like I have a bunch of little toys, so I'll like take like this donkey and then just like place it on our table, and we'll just paint that. And most of the time it ends up looking really bad. But because like we only have like 30-40 minutes like after we finish eating lunch. But it's really good practice.
Definitely.
Oh, I can show my paint sketchbook.
Yes, please. Yes. Because I know that you just mentioned that like sometimes people like your gouache work, and then like doesn't have to always be digital. But do you think like if you want to work there, can you not have digital work at all?
No, I think you'll definitely have to show that you're competent in working digitally, because that's what you do at work. But I think having traditional work, especially because like like artists like really value traditional work. I think most artists, or most like experienced artists, like draw a lot of inspiration from the old masters, like the old illustrators, like the golden age of illustrators. So I think when you can show that you have that kind of skill, it's really valuable. But yeah, like here's my, I don't know if you can, oh yeah, here's my gouache sketchbook. So they're just like really rough. Like we were just like sitting at a balcony for these. I didn't even finish this one. I didn't finish this one. didn't finish these, but these are like, I have like they're just during lunch, like random objects that I found on my desk.
Yeah.
More really rough.
Yeah. And like when you're doing these, how long until you kind of like, are you ever like happy with some of the work that you're doing, or you're like, oh man, like no?
I think a lot of them I'm just like, oh, this sucks, like like I'll just start over. I do want to touch up some of these just to like have it and be happy with myself, but I mean, you can only do so much during lunch.
That's true. Yeah, those are gorgeous. Yeah.
Thank you. Like we brought in some radishes and like oranges, lemon.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it doesn't matter if it's not everything that you do has to be portfolio worthy or even like Instagram worthy. Yeah, like I think it's because I definitely, between the time that I started and now, like I definitely see an improvement in myself. Oh, that reminds me, like since April is coming up, there's I don't know if you're aware of like Plain April.
Plain April. What is Plain April?
So it's like Inktober, where you do an ink drawing every day, but you do plein air painting every day.
Oh, that is really cool. So if anybody's interested, maybe that's a good practice as well.
Yeah, so that's actually how I got back into gouache painting last year, is because I took a really long break from it, and then I was finally like, you know what, like I'm gonna do one of those challenges and stick to it. And yeah, like it really pushed me to do work.
Yeah. So someone's asking, Mari's asking, what kind of paint do you use and the paper too? Thank you.
For some, when I was first starting out, I just bought like a cardstock sketchbook from Daiso.
Japanese,
Daiso, like
Japanese dollar store.
And it's cardstock paper, so it's like pretty thick. And then for the paint, I use either these Holbein gouache. Or I think more widely available is the Winsor & Newton gouache.
Newton gouache. Okay.
Yeah. And then I put it in like I have it in a case. Like this is my paint box.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, so that's the one you bring out, right?
Yeah. So all the paints are already in it, and since it closes airtight, like it doesn't dry out as fast. Oh, and I think it saves, because like these paints can be pretty expensive, and if you have like squeeze out tubes every single time, it wastes a lot of paint. But when you like put it in here and mix it with water, like you pretty much have wet paint like every single time you open it. So yeah, I usually take this out, and my sketchbooks like really range from, like I used to use the Moleskine watercolor sketchbook. These are pretty nice. And I use for some of those square ones, I use like these wooden coasters.
Oh wow, wooden coasters. That's an interesting idea.
So in LA there's a group called Weekend Warrior Painters. And it's like a group that basically goes out to paint somewhere outside every week. I don't go every week, but last fall they had a like an exhibit at one of the galleries around here, and it was like a coaster painting show. So a bunch of artists painted on these coasters and like put it up on the wall.
I think I've seen I
posted some. So like here's like, oh yeah, the ones that you saw on my
Oh,
website.
nice. Oh yeah, so you took those and so that's why they had like that kind of look and feel.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's like it's already like this. So here's some I didn't put up on my website. I put this one on my website.
Yeah, I saw this one for sure.
Yeah, and like here's some more that,
This is great because then you have coasters you can keep too.
Yeah, so I like gift it to my grandparents or something.
Oh, definitely, and you can definitely the gifting part, and like here's like a way to practice, and then exposure, and then also give friends some gifts.
Yeah, and yeah, like you can honestly paint on like really cheap paper. Like here's one that was really cheap. I bought it at some art store.
Mm-hmm.
The paper is not that great, but I mean, it works for gouache.
Mm.
Just like doing like little studies. Like I have some, yeah, like some master studies of like Edgar Payne and still lifes. So yeah, like honestly, like if you're just getting started, you can just pick up some like kind of thick like watercolor paper sketchbooks and start painting on that.
Sounds good. So we have a couple portfolios we want you to take a look at too, because I think that's a good way for us to kind of, like differentiate like the tips for, Yuriko before entering the industry and Yuriko after. And, so that way we can touch it. And so the first portfolio is from Amari. Let me share my screen with you first.
Okay.
Okay. So let me know when you can see it.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so Mari is a freelance artist. She has some character animation, but she also has artwork as well too. So I know that you're not like the animation part, but let's go through this and like let's kind of see what advice you might have for like things that hey, this would be cool stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's take a look at this. So for a quick context first, Amari said that for this year, she's trying to switch her focus onto 2D art, asset creation, characters, and background. So she kind of wants some more critique of like, right now, I think it's a lot of animation-based work. And then she's done some of like the different illustrations. This one's like a comic cover. And then this one is for like an animated short. As well as like some asset work and some of the like character turnarounds. Yeah. So we're gonna scroll down first, real quick. So I think that's the question, like what you would advise by looking at this first.
Are those images cropped or something? The ones at the bottom.
These ones, I think so. Right? These ones, this part. I would believe so.
Like I would. It's kind of like I think I would, for some of the character ones, I would make the pages more like put it on like an 11 by 17 page that's like presented like a portfolio. Because it like the ones above the character pages, it looks a little crowded on the page. Like I think it'll be better if it was easier to look at.
Like this?
And I think like when you look at like those, like maybe like I think, because I think when you look at like a lot of character designers like portfolios, they have, like they have an image of like the character, and they have a turnaround, and they have a sheet of expressions.
Mm.
Like, I think maybe rather than like cramming it all onto one page, like maybe make it more like presentable.
Definitely, because I think like you mentioned as well too, all these seem to have like very different size proportion. Like even the canvases, like from this one to this one, and like the layout is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
So I would say like even like sorry, me being a designer, a little bit more nitpicky, nothing to do much with character, but like maybe align some of these texts too. And I'll be careful of like cropping all the way to the end for some things, because it's very hard to see if it's not inside as well too. But for example, something like this, like when they draw the left and the right side, and I think this one is a turnaround. Is this
it's a turnaround?
Yeah. So this one, kind of thing. Yeah. So maybe separate, like you said, separate some of these elements.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think also like if you're working on like different projects, it's good to separate like each project by category. Like right now it's a little hard to tell like what goes with what. So like
yeah, I think it's a little bit random, right? In terms of like because for somebody who's like seen this for the first time, it's like it's a little bit harder to say like, oh, what's this for? What's that for? And I think probably context.
Yeah. Because like I guess like if you want to work in animation, it's important to because basically like your job is to create like each like focus on like one specific thing and like work in different categories. Whereas when you present a portfolio, that's like you can't exactly tell like what's for what. Like it might be harder for like a recruiter to know that like you can do that in your work.
Also, so for me, I feel like these kind of look a little bit more sketch-like, and this looks like the same thing twice. So, what do you think about that?
I think, I don't know if it was necessary to put the line of the same thing, because when you show a painting, like, like it shows that you can draw that too, basically. I mean, maybe if you want to keep the line sketch, it'll be good to put that with like the page of character expressions or poses.
So overall, like right now, because there's so many different styles and like so many different like it looks like they're all from like different projects. Do you think in this case it would be easier to like you mentioned group things by project? Or...
I think so. Okay. And I feel like also like I really like that the spoon ballerina page, like it's really cute. And like, but I think you could probably split that into like you could milk that to create like a whole world out of it. Like if that's what you want to focus on, like you can have like a page of the turnaround and a page of like expressions. Like right now it seems really cramped on one page, and it doesn't seem that significant because it's like one page and it's so small. But I think like because it has solid colors and a solid turnaround, like it seems more of a completed project than a lot of, like some of the other stuff that's posted on this portfolio. I think you could like I think if you change the layout, like you could make it a lot more professional looking.
I think it's really crowded right now too, because there's so many different things in one page. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's like a lot of elements to look at. In one go. Because if let's like if we look at your portfolio, Yuriko, we can see that a lot of these seem like really like they it seems like they give enough time and space for you to actually admire each of these piece of work too. I mean, and this is still a set as well too. Like, and you can tell that this is like a set piece.
So like even though mine's all on the same page, you can tell that like, oh, those 4 images are part of the same story. And then because like my focus is mostly on color and painting, like a lot of the images that I show are just color and paint, and there's not that much context for it. So I think it's fine that like some of my other illustrations, like towards the back, that are all separate images. Like I think that makes sense. But if you want to do more like character design or prop design, like that, things that need more context behind it, then I think it's important to separate each thing, just to make sure that like the people that are looking at it understand that they're separate.
So it gets enough attention. Because I mean, I really like this piece of yours. Because even though we see it in like context, in all these areas, like as this is like it's a part of the element, so it's not like it stands out, like not like focused on it. But then like you gave us one which is like, oh look, a real focus on like here's how I kind of developed it as well.
Yeah, and I also wanted to put this in my portfolio just to show that hey, I can do realistic paintings. But even if the rest of my work is stylized, that's like enough to show a recruiter like if you want me to work on a project that involves realistic painting, like I can do that.
Definitely. Okay. So I think that's the first thing is probably separating out. I mean, because this one has a project tab by itself, and this one says window washer. So
there's another tab.
Oh, whoops. Yeah. So I think in itself, like this is probably like the like a senior project type of work as well too. So it does have a little bit more of a lot of things like the sketches, and we can see a repetition of some of these as well.
Okay. Yeah, like I think it's fine to have that if it's since it's like a senior project page, but I think like making a condensed version of that would be good too.
Yeah, because I mean it's very hard to go through everything.
Yeah, and like, a recruiter isn't gonna have time to read all this and look at everything. Like when you're trying to get a job, like you want to make sure that they get the gist of your portfolio without spending too much time on it.
Definitely. Okay. So okay, thank you, Yuriko. I think that's some good advice. We're gonna move on to the next one as well too. Because I mean, I think having a variety can definitely help. But Amari also says that she can create a page for just the character design, comic, and illustration. But it also is it best to leave the description out of the page. I think she was talking about this. So in description, I think you're talking about these things, like the little descripts.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if they're necessary. Like, yeah, I don't think they're necessary. I think stuff like that, like if it's like, oh, like this is a project that I worked on, that should go in your resume.
Because I think the only thing about this, especially as well too, is even though it says like a winged minignon concept, like to me, it doesn't really mean anything much. Because I don't know the context of it, like for example, if I know Amari's portfolio pretty well, so I kind of know what's going on. But if somebody comes over and look at a Galician seabird concept art for PIQ, I don't know what PIQ is. I don't know what the seabird like kind of thing as well too. So I would just probably be looking at particularly like the artwork, and maybe like even this like if they're from the same world. Maybe that's something that they kind of should go together as like a set a little bit more.
Yeah. So I think like it's okay if it really needs some kind of context or like like I got rid of it in my portfolio, but before I had a page just for my senior thesis. I kind of condensed it in my main portfolio, but it said like I was an art director for this short film,
The Radish,
and then here are the things that I did, basically. Yeah, the Radish Tale.
Yeah.
So, like, to say something like that, I think it's fine. But, yeah, I don't need to know, like, oh, drawing of Mount Fuji, like, view of my grandparents' house on, like, every single image. Like, it should be pretty clear.
Okay. So, let's do that. Okay. So also in terms of resume, because I forgot I script over your resume, but I really liked how clean it kind of was too. in terms of
Oh,
like
okay.
the presentation, and there's also a download link as well too. So I thought this was pretty clear, like how you did the stuff as well too. So this is what you're talking about, right? Like the descriptions of the stuff. And I know some people tend to write like a really long description. How do you suggest that they pare down some information to like the crucial keys? Wait, let's.
Well, when I was first starting out, I didn't have a lot under my resume, so I did more description of what I was doing. But now that I'm a professional, working in the industry, like I just made it pretty like direct to the point of like, oh, this is what I did on the show.
Definitely, because I mean, the name itself already kind of tells you, like, oh, she's working on this TV show and she does this. So, like, assumption is like if it's one of the top studios, then usually it should be pretty good enough. So, for example, when we're looking at like Amari's resume right here, it's like I think like there's some of these things as well too.
I think right now it's like really hard to see like which, like because like right after one job description ends, it goes straight to like the role. Maybe like put in like a little space between like each.
Yeah, like around here even.
Yeah, or like try like different size, like font sizes, or like different colors for like the title or something. Because I think it's like two like one after the other. That it's hard to see like the different job titles that you had.
Yes. Okay. So let's go take a look at another portfolio too, because I think that's how we kind of like see the difference between different people's stuff. So I think James sent over an ArtStation. Any thoughts? Let's see first. So we have some of these work here. This is his robot work. This is a turnaround, 3D turnaround. Oh, but can I just press next? Yes, I can. Okay. So I think yeah, I think that was it.
Okay.
So I think first the question that I definitely have for you as well is, what do you think about the format of ArtStation? Whether it helps or does it not help a portfolio, or like have you seen people use ArtStation more efficiently?
I think I only really see ArtStation, I think, from like gaming industry artists, I feel like, or I guess because like you can click on one thing and it'll show you like the images after. I feel like it's probably helpful for more people that are into like 3D stuff, because you can show the final product and then you can have like a breakdown of all the steps that went into creating it. I'm personally not the biggest fan of ArtStation, just because like sometimes there's multiple pieces, sometimes there's only one, and it's kind of hard to get like a grasp of like everything as a whole, like especially if there's things hidden under each image, like
this one, right?
Each individual one. So unless it's like like that, like I think it's really effective for doing stuff like that where it shows like different angles or like the UV map. But I mean, like plenty of artists use it, so like it's probably okay. I'm not really sure about ArtStation.
Yeah, I think for me the only main thing is that it's too many things. Like maybe if there was just like 8 things on this ArtStation, I would probably like be happier to click on it. But then like for example, like this one looks like it matches with this one.
Yeah.
Like
and the next one looks like it matches with the next one.
Yeah, like this one and this one. Yeah. So I think it's a little bit confusing, like scrolling through and then see like these two are the same thing. Maybe they should be together.
Mm-hmm.
And then these two are the same thing, but then everything else is like a little bit different. And like, is this one the same thing as this one as well too, or is it a separate thing altogether? I think it might be a separate thing, but not sure if it's from the same world as well.
Yeah. So I feel like it'll be more effective because I know like the reason why it shows up like that is because that's like in the order that you post it.
Okay.
But it does get confusing, like, and especially like if there are things that you want people to see, like if I was a recruiter looking at this and I didn't have time to go through like every single one, I would just look at this as a whole and be like, okay, next. Definitely. But if there was something like hidden under, you have to like click the image to go to it. I feel like that can be like a downside because they're not getting all of it.
Yeah. And I feel like the like, because I don't know if you can put resumes up here, but I think it's also very hard to see a resume. I mean, it's not made for that. I understand that completely. Yeah. But I mean,
usually in the about, people put like
in the about. Oh, maybe here.
Yeah. If people put like previous. Yeah. So I guess that kind of acts like a resume.
Okay. Let's see. Interesting. Yeah. So I mean, like, but what do you like? I think like one of the more mature designs, probably like this one's seems a little bit more fleshed out. Overall, like it has like a turnaround, a cutesy take, and a like a posed one with a reference as well too. So like if we're looking at this particular piece, what would you say would be good about it, or like what could be improved about it?
I think having different styles for like one like piece is a good thing. I feel like especially because like in games there's usually like they have that glamour shot, and then they have that like I don't know what you call it, like when like a cut scene where it's in like a different style. So I think it is like good to have that, but yeah, it is just like I guess maybe just the way that it's set up maybe like kind of confusing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think one of the things for me, again, like just as a graphic designer, I feel that like maybe leave a little bit more space around the edges.
Oh yeah. Everyone needs to like generously space their images.
Yeah, because I mean, like for me also, like it could look a little bit more complete if you kind of like take a little bit of time to polish the layout a little bit more. Because like when something like this hits the edge, it kind of falls in between the line of like a sketch work than like a polish work overall.
Yeah, I feel like that image of her like standing, that could be on like the left side, and then like very like costume variations can be in like a corner, or like different poses can be on like another thing. Like like how we were talking on the previous portfolio.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so, definitely. Yeah, I definitely would move this to the left and then move this to the right, just because of the sizing as well too. Because I mean, this one is full body, and then this is full body, but it's smaller. Yeah, and this is almost like the same size. So I mean, moving it might be like a little bit more visual balance in terms of the stuff. And James, the owner of this portfolio, says, at the time he was uploading things, he didn't realize you could add multiple images to start with. Okay, so there you go, James.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I wonder if you can like.
Oh, what?
I wonder if you can change the ArtStation.
That's a good
question.
Like
if you didn't realize that you could add more things.
Yeah, or like delete and
re-add. Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah, because for me, this is nice. I think this one's actually quite nice.
Yeah, that's a good page.
Yeah,
like everything's like spaced out.
Yeah, it looks like more well thought out. Even like the back part has like a gradient, so it just looks like, oh wow, this person thought their whole layout through. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I think in terms of overall, like, I think for me, coming from more animation than games, I'm not super keen on ArtStation as much. I mean, of course, like some people can use it really well, and I'm definitely saying that a lot of people do really good pieces of work on them. but in terms of navigation, it's like I usually prefer to have like if you have a portfolio plus an art station, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's definitely meant for just like kind of like Instagram, just for like sharing your work, but not really for like sending it to a recruiter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know there is like a community on ArtStation, and you can like images just like you would like images on Instagram. But yeah, I think having like, you know, like a portfolio would probably help.
Yeah, I think
just because it's easier to look at.
I think this piece is really neat, actually, for the texture. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool.
Okay. Yeah, and somebody was just telling James that, oh yeah, you can manage project if you want to edit something you already post. Click on your icon. Thanks to Neil, very very helpful information. So now let's look at this other one. So this is Annie, the animator. And then we just have one more after this. And then she says that she is trying to build a background art environment design portfolio and plan to add some project pages with more of her process from Inktober. But this is what I've got for now. I'll appreciate feedback both on the gap in my portfolio and skill set and boring website stuff. So, okay, let's see. So I think she has this here. Since she says that she wants to go to background art, let's see if the reel is quite long. Otherwise, we should kind of focus on maybe the illustration and the biz development.
Yeah, I think we can just focus on.
Definitely. Oh, my thought right off the bat is too many reels. Okay, so let's take a look at the Vis-Dev first before we look at the illustration.
Okay.
Okay, so it's kind of showing. I think you can look from here.
Okay.
This one, concept art.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's go up and take a look at the things on top first, in case this has not loaded yet. So I think she separated her line work with the non-line work. Any thoughts on this?
I can't, like, it kind of looks like the line work is, well, from my view, it looks like it's digital, but the end product doesn't look digital. Is that?
That's a good question as well too. We'll leave that question to them if they have it here. We can look at zoom in a little bit more. Okay. So there's this. That's a good question, actually. I'm not sure if
it is traditional.
Possible.
No.
Highly possible. It kind of looks a little bit more traditional to me. This one looks a little bit more digital. I'm wondering if it's a scan and kind of thing.
Sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that sounds like it. Scan the ink work and then digital paint. That's my assumption right now.
Okay.
So what do you think? Because these look like two very different styles, kind of thing.
Yeah.
3 different styles. And what do you feel about I think we mentioned on the other portfolio again as well that like sketch versus final product.
That one looks pretty finished. The last one.
This one.
Yeah. I think unless it's like stylized for a very particular reason, I think a big part of maybe what you should focus on is like practicing drawing in perspective. Like that one with the house, like the second to the top. Like I couldn't tell if you were trying to draw in like like perspective. Like, oh, I guess that's just the end of the. Like for a second, I thought that was like supposed to be the horizon line.
Like this.
Yeah, that line.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just the end of the fence. But yeah, like because layout drawing, like background design, it's really like I kind of had to learn it on the job because like during school I would cheat and use like 3D programs to build my sets first.
Yes.
And then like trace over it, and then like I did learn like traditional like hardcore like like measuring out with a ruler like perspective drawing in college, but a lot of like kind of like eyeballing perspective and doing a good layout is something that my art director like really taught me like once I started working. And I think if you want to go into background design, that's like really important to have.
Yeah.
It seems like, because if you were just going into background paint, you could just show like the color and maybe like it wasn't like it was intentional or something. But I think when you show like a background design and like it doesn't look intentional, the perspective, like it can really throw you off.
Definitely. So she said that that this was an Inktober piece and probably some paper grain in there, and I echo you on that as well too, because like when we were looking at your project, Yuriko, remember we were talking about that okay, it's nice to have some stylized piece, but you also throw stuff in there to show that you're really solid with your more realistic pieces. And like in exploration as well too. So right now, like I'm seeing a lot of stylization, and it's very hard because it seems like for me, like if I was hiring somebody, it's a little bit risky as well to just see stylization and not be sure if like your traditional skills are tighter as well. Yeah, like for example, like this piece with the lighting, for me personally, I would like to see more difference in texture. It looks like just one kind of like more like solid block. Like these like bricks usually aren't the same all throughout, right?
Yeah, and I feel like you need to have more like intention with each piece, like focus on composition or focus on the mood or something like that. Yeah. Because right now, like that that piece with the brick and the fence, like the lamppost is. Like like it's hitting the line, like it's like it has a tangent where the brick meets the fence, and like you see like so much of the ground, and like why is it that way? Like is it supposed to be like a scary alley and like it's like a dead end, or like I'm not sure what the intent of it is, because like the background, when you're doing background drawings for animation, like the intent of that is to tell us, like help the characters tell the story, and it's not just here. It's that's like what separates it from illustration, right? Is that like you're helping tell this narrative. And I think right now, like I mean, you said like it's for Inktober, so like maybe it wasn't a part of like a fleshed out thing. But I think definitely like focus on composition and perspective.
I'm gonna go on a limb here as well too, because the thing is, if this is going to be your portfolio, it should be your best piece. Like there's a place for sketch, because I mean, like on Yuriko's website there is a place for sketch, literally. But like like when you're presenting your work and you only have like a limited amount of time and you want to say, hey, this is my best work, please hire me, then you need to like make sure they're not confused when they're looking at your work, whether, hey, is this the best work she does? Because sometimes like for me it can really backfire when you're like, oh, this piece is good, but this piece is not so good. Like, is it because it's a sketch? You're not there to explain it to them.
Yeah, so that should be really clear.
Definitely. And I think my my suggestion, I hope I'm not too mean, but I would definitely work on more of the perspective, like live drawing stuff, and really nailing down like anatomy and nailing down getting the hardcore basics first, and then like
getting the foundation down, I think, is really important.
Definitely.
I think before you move on to any of like the, like focusing on a particular area, I think you really need to nail down the foundations.
So we also have like some illustrations as well, and I think like pretty much though, like when we were talking about previs and illustration as well too. Yes, I think with still a similar comment as well. A focus first on the perspective, and so she said some of these pieces are one off, and some is from the short film, and some are just random, as well. I think this is a repeat piece too.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, one of these one repeat piece.
Mm. Yeah, I think a lot of these pieces, like, it's fine if you want to include it in your portfolio, but I think they should probably belong in like a separate category. Like, if you're gonna do, like little like pencil or like pen doodles, like just have like a like a sketch tab, or like personal work tab, because I don't think you could put some of these in like a illustration category.
Yeah,
especially if that's what you want to sell to like a recruiter.
Yeah. So even like for this dog in particular, like there, the neck area, I feel like this shape is a little bit weird, as well too, as well as how the neck is connected to the leg, so it's kind of like blending in together. So these are things that you want to kind of work on as well too. Is like how Yuriko was talking about, shapes, getting like basic shapes really tight, and then expanding on it, because I think like with live drawing sessions, sometimes like the first basic that you want to get down is like gesture drawings, and with gesture drawings you're trying to just capture the shape, like the basic form first before you start adding detail. And sometimes I think we get a little too caught on the details, that we're not like actually focusing on like the really making like the basics more solid.
Yeah. And also, like what we were talking about earlier on, like you have to take a lot of time to find good reference. Like a lot of prep goes into like making one good piece of art. So I think like getting more reference, like getting like maybe like doing more like sketches before committing to something. Because I know like you don't always see like thumbnails for projects, but like people do a lot of thumbnails before like actually committing to something.
Definitely. So really, and this one is I think that's it. And a quick look at the resume. Resume minus. I was like 8 years plus, 5 years plus. That's quite new to me. The on the program. Okay. So I think one of the things is like what are your thoughts on this, Yuriko? When it's like a resume that says like animator and illustrator, and if you're applying for like a particular position. Yeah, I mean, like I understand.
I think as long as you have like the experience to support that claim that you're both. Yeah, but I do think it's like a little text heavy.
It's quite a bit of stuff as well too. Yeah. So it's like even this like wow, like there's like so many social media, and I doubt that people are gonna go through and look at all of these.
Like you already have it on your website, right?
Yeah,
on the
right there.
Top right corner. You have all the like the social media handles on that. So you really don't have to put it on your resume, because you can't even click it on your resume anyway.
Yeah, I think sometimes like less is more as well too. And in this case, because there's so many things going on, it's very hard to kind of see what it is. And my particular thing here is like, this is program, but then this also says like traditional animation. And the other part of this is like Microsoft and Google Suite are on top. I would usually think that if you're applying for a job, put the most relevant stuff up first. Yeah, because I mean, they're like if it's for animator or illustrator, they're probably not going to be hiring you based on how good you are as much with Google Suite and Microsoft Suite.
Yeah, that's more of like a production thing.
Yeah, a production assistant, PA, yeah, definitely. You want to see those and like management stuff as well too. Yeah. So okay, let's take a look at our last one. Boop.
Okay.
Another art station. Let's see how this one fares. I'm sorry. I have a tiny little bias against art station. Tiny. Let's see how many pieces.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I understand.
Okay. So we're gonna see some of this work. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, scroll down. It says scroll down. Castro Bistro. Sun Moon.
Oh, so it's on the sketches page.
So this one's a grouped. It's been grouped. Second one,
okay.
I think art, draft, okay, as well as oh, this is pretty cool. Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not bad. Motorcycle.
Yeah, I like how like the pages look intentional.
Oh, he said sorry for the art station. I'm sorry, it's nothing on you, William. Just like was it personal preferences?
Yeah.
Oh, this is really cool. This one.
Oh yeah. I like how it says scroll down.
This one, right? Like the little scroll down thing.
Yeah.
This has some graffiti work.
That's cool.
And I think, I think one of the things that William has posted before, I think this is his work in exploring, I think either Unreal or Unity.
Okay.
So I'm gonna skip that. And another 3D object, totem pole. Turning around the totem pole. Another totem pole. Taller totem pole. William, did you design these as well? Oh, that's pretty cool. A dolphin. A whale. Sorry, I'm stating the obvious here.
Okay.
Scrolling down. Okay, so this is a 3D object. And yeah, I feel like I'm sensing a pattern here of like the ArtStation preference for the 3D, 2D mixture.
Yeah. But I feel like this is a good use of like ArtStation because I mean that's how you're supposed to do it, right? Like a turnaround like at the top and then different views like within the same
like grouping things into
better,
sets.
Yeah, it's better for like 3D projects to be grouped like that.
3D model. Oh, this one's pretty cool. Let's see.
Yeah.
Southeast Asian. A little bit Indonesian-ish. Oh, dim sum. Okay. I'm hungry. I think that's it for William. Yes, I think we've seen this, and oh, that's interesting. For some reason, I thought that was like the zoom in. So, what did you think about William's work?
I think I like the way that it's separated because I think he makes it pretty clear, or there's like a pretty clear, you know, like there's like the 2D work and there's the 3D work, and like it's not, yeah, like I can like scroll through it and know that it's like kind of in the same world.
Definitely. Like I think one of my favorite ones in particular was this one actually. It was a little bit surprising. Uh, Annie says, "Thank you for the critique, and she'll definitely work on some fundamentals and eliminating the weaker pieces as well." This one
Cool.
took me a little bit by surprise because I really like this particular page as well too. Look at that, it has a Marriott on it.
Wow, yeah.
Like
Is this
that.
like a comic?
I think it is. I think looks like a little bit more like sequential style. Because like we
Yeah.
see it looks like a almost like a concept for space hotel. Just for the fact that I was
Uh-huh.
like, there's a Marriott logo there, and then she's like pressing some things. She might be like a type of like concierge.
Yeah, and then it goes on.
Yeah, pretty. This one's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which one did you like caught your eye, Yuriko, out of this
I also
portfolio?
really like the graffiti stuff.
Oh, this one?
I think I like that one on the left, the very
This one?
left.
Oh, this
I
one?
like that one too, but wasn't there no the one before?
I think so. Like, is it this one?
I think it also
This one.
included.
This one. Was it this piece
Uh,
or no?
oh yeah, yeah. Wait, is it the? Can you scroll down for that? Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Like I like how it shows like the characters in that world.
Mm.
Oh, I guess the graffiti was on the second page, so it was.
Okay. Let's see. I think there's
Yeah,
a
I like
couple. This one?
that top piece,
This top piece?
or
This?
the previous.
Oh, the previous. This one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It definitely
Like
looks like a
that's a
set.
pretty cool lineup.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a set. Like you can see like this one guy with his his turnaround, but then the turnaround includes like a posing,
Yeah.
and then the girl like from the same world type of thing too. My only
Hmm.
question was why maybe you could actually put the girl on the right side as well too, but because I
Hmm.
mean there's such a wide space over here for some reason, or
Yeah.
like crop it out or something. Again, sorry, nitpicky on the layouts. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also just like the graffiti pages.
Hmm,
So
yeah.
that's like a thing that like like you have to if you did a show that oh yeah like my friends that were working on Fast and Furious Spy Racers for
Mm,
DreamWorks
mm,
like they had to do a bunch of graffiti stuff like
yeah.
graffiti design that's props
Yeah.
and like methods
Yeah.
and I feel like that's something that gets like overlooked a lot
Mm,
in for, like student work but it's actually like something that you have to do on the job
mm,
like creating kind of like mundane like boring assets.
yes.
So it's like, oh, like cool, like it's someone that can design that. Like I
Yeah.
think that's a cool thing to show.
An unknown asset. I really like the fact that like this graffiti is also integrated, like into a
Yeah.
fire shape, like into like almost like a smoke type of thing. I think that's a very smart integration. It shows like for me creativity,
Yeah.
on the thing as well too. Yeah.
Hmm.
And like overall, I think this portfolio for me kind of surprised me. Because like when I first glanced at it, I'm just like art station. I'm sorry, no,
Yeah.
it's more like again more like a gamey looking type of thing. But there are some like really like good like thoughtful pieces, like even this one, which really surprised me,
Hmm.
with like the motorbikes and stuff as well too.
Yeah. Like I think it does show like everything that you should show.
Mhm. I think yeah, for me the only thing about this is already up here, so I probably wouldn't put it again since like if it's
Hmm.
already been showcased once. I think this piece like if this was not an art station, if this is like a portfolio website, I would think that like like this piece by itself could work than having this one because it just seems like a lot of space.
Yeah.
Like visual balance wise, and it's like a repetition again. Yeah, and this page in particular was really cool too. Like, definitely looks like someone who's interested in previs for sci-fi.
Hmm.
This is like also like you can see that they put some thought in the layout in the back too. It's like a complete
Yeah.
piece as well too.
I think it could have been like, cause it's like right now it's like a square.
Mm.
I think it could have been like a traditional like 11 by 17,
Mm.
and then like have like the girl on like the top left, and then have like the bike on the right, and then have like all the other smaller things on the bottom or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So
Like
that way,
layout is awkward.
yeah, like a visual balance. So we're looking more
Yeah.
like for, and I think consistency in terms of layout is also very good because that means like people
Yeah.
don't have to guess, you know, like it's because I mean if you're trying to do something for like a TV or a screen, usually it's like you know like the 1920 by 1080 type more ratio already, and now like when we're looking like something like this, it's like kind of breaking the mold a little bit and. Not saying it's not a good thing about breaking the molds, but I think it just adds like another element for people to consider other than the main work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think like a big takeaway from like looking at all these portfolios is like it's not just the quality of your work, but how you present it is really important.
for sure.
Like you really have to, you know, be in the think about like how like a recruiter is going to look at your portfolio and like, you know, if it's not like, even if it's a really nice work, if it's not presented nicely, then they're not gonna like, you know, it's not like they're not gonna want to look at it for too long.
I agree with that as well too. And for me, like I did like get stuck up on the graffiti as you mentioned as well too. But I think like for me, whenever I see something that looks like a group in the set, I just want to grab it and put it together. Because I was like, like you know, that way you can minimize the amount of scrolling through that we have to do. Just just imagine like if a recruiter only had like 8 clicks to give you, and no more. What would you really want them to click onto to actually look at the stuff as well too? And you can make things into a set because at least like they can see it all in one place at one time, and really like think about that presentation. Like I think these are pretty cool too. They would probably be more along the lines of games graphic, but even like this mountain statue and this relic and the barong, they kind of look a little bit more like they. I mean, like culturally they might not be the same, but they you know kind of like look like they go in the same category, more Southeast Asian style. While as like something like the rock, which is more texture wise, might go with something that is a little bit more environmental based. And I think this one just like you have like 3D pieces, and maybe it's again like ArtStation thing, but you know like you have 3D and then it goes to 2D and then it goes 3D and it goes 2D and it goes 3D.
Yeah, I think that's like a problem with like like the way that this is organized is in the order that you post it, but that's not necessarily the order that you want people to look at your work.
Yes.
So that's kind of like the drawback of using something like this.
Yeah, so like the ability to curate your work so that like people are able to see it first. Yeah, I would also utilize this area if it's the about part as well too, because I think like as you move along in terms of like skill sets and stuff, the resume like just listing things out that you do is also kind of important as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's like the main like overall your we were looking at your takeaway of the thing. Overall, now looking at this kind of thing where it's like okay, there are people who are interested in getting into visual development field, and then these are the portfolios that they're presenting. Do you feel that it's the it fits under visual development? Or are there any like misunderstandings and misconceptions of like what visual development is?
Well, I think we looked at like a really wide variety of portfolios today, so it's kind of hard to say. Like, and like even because like even when I'm doing background design and like paint, like, and that's not really visual development. But when I'm doing like very early work for the storyboard artist to reference, that's visual development because you're developing this set. And that might turn into like a final layout like later on. So like a lot of things can be considered visual development. It's just based on like the context, I guess. Like what part of the pipeline, like when I'm drawing it in. Because after the storyboards are done, then it's not visual development anymore. Like I'm just doing a background to support the storyboard.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, like I don't know.
I think that's great.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I think it does a lot. Like just to recap, like the things that we've talked about today, it was like you talked about like adding your own unique experience in the work, which we saw a lot of, and how like you don't always have to have like a certain style that fits the studio pipeline, but also like creating like showing that you have the skill set to carry it through, especially like with some live drawings or like a little bit more of the solid foundation. And I think the other important thing that we also looked at was that giving more thought into the layout and the research that goes behind the intention of the background pieces, because they are like something that's supporting the character. They're not like just, it's a random background piece. So it has to work with the world that it's in as well too, as well as when we're looking at the overall portfolio, being able to lay them out consistently in a way that people kind of understand grouping things as a set. I think that's pretty much a lot of the stuff that we've covered today.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Wow. Thanks so much, Yuriko. This is it's been amazing.
I'm glad I can help.
Yeah, definitely. So I always ask this question at the end of every episode. It's always gonna be like, what are your tips for the, like, if you had one thing you want to tell people, blah blah blah.
I would say like surround yourself with good people, because like these people are, like I've like known you since 2013.
Yeah, wow.
And we've kept in touch this whole time, and because I know you, like I'm able to like do presentations like this, and because I've kept like really inspiring friends around me, like they push me to go out and paint, like my friends during lunch, like because I'm friends with this artist, like I go out and paint every day, and it's really improved my skill. And like when I'm moving on to the next job, and I surround myself with these really supportive friends that also do really good work, and they're like, oh hey, like I know this person that's looking for work.
Yeah.
So like I know, like they say like, oh yeah, like networking, and like networking is important, but I feel like networking can kind of like when you're like meeting people just to network, that's not going to help you.
Yeah.
Like you have to make real connections with people. Like even though I met someone with through like a networking event, if I don't really know them, and if I'm not actually friends with them, like it's very likely that I'm going to help them because I can't vouch for who they are.
Definitely.
So I think like surrounding yourself with good people, like people that are going to inspire you and push you, and giving that back, I think is really important.
Yeah. And I like to tell people, when we say networking, it has a bad rep, but think about this as building relationships, because that's really what it is. Like, like this is somebody you want to hang out with, like, did you like the same stuff? You like the same cartoon, you like the same comic, you have the same interests. Those are things you can build relationships out of. And it's not necessarily like, definitely not like going around shoving your resumes in people's face. That's definitely like, well, unless they ask for it. And they are specifically saying, give me your resume. There is these jobs open. Then that would be a different thing for sure. Yeah. But thank you so much, Yuriko. It's been fantastic. You've been awesome. And for everybody who's watching this, and everybody's just like, oh, thank you. Like, sorry for the art station. It's cool. If anybody who likes this kind of information, we'll definitely be trying to bring more of these to you, especially because of the situation. We're going to be doing more things online for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like we usually have our monthly mixer, but due to the situation, we're actually not going to be having our next 2 monthly mixers. We're trying to see if we can take it online to Discord as well too, but more announcements will be coming soon, and that will be more like a postponement. And it's always about community first. It's always about understanding that first and foremost, we're trying to take care of our community, and health is also very important, and taking like precautions and steps seriously as event organizers is definitely one of the things that we take very seriously. So thank you so much, Yuriko, for today. And everybody, like and subscribe. No, there's no like and subscribe here, but we do have like our website, ASIFA-South. If you're interested, definitely go to ASIFA-South.com and sign up for a newsletter if you want to be a member and stuff, or just support us. And if you're watching this through our Facebook group, like please join us in our next online panel as well too. Yeah. So everybody, thank you and good luck for today, and we hope to see you next time. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.